Hey guys, welcome back to another test server review with Pendous. So we're going to talk about some other things than a lot of what's going on in the test server, but so first, I like the Cossack skin. So I figured I would show you guys that really quick. There were some other skins that were featured, like for the Fury Patton and Fujin, but yeah, there's the Cossack one for you there. So the biggest thing I wanted to talk about was this new map. So you can jump into these tubes. I know you guys were all wondering. And yes, you can jump into those tubes. And they do protect you from line of sight weapons and stuff, but what they don't protect you from is splash damage. They're super thin, as you can see there, and so splash damage, even from like a Pinata or Orkin, can still strike you through it. And I know all of you guys were wondering that, you know, can I jump into those tubes? I don't know. And so you saw it here first, people. I'm just kidding, you probably didn't. You probably saw it somewhere else first, but anyway. So I went through and I made sure to test it all for you with each of the jumping robots. And so we've got the Ragaka here jumping into the tube, playing peekaboo with this Lancelot, and getting hit by the splash damage from the right there from the other Ragaka, as you can see. And then I know you guys are all wondering this after seeing that footage with the Ragaka and the Cossack. I know you guys are all super curious. Can the Griffin jump into that place, into that hole, from the top of the broken Star Destroyer? Because this is totally Jakku from Star Wars. And this is definitely a Star Destroyer. Yeah, you guys are wondering that. So here it is. The moment of truth. Will he make it before he gets shredded by Tempest? No. There it is right there. You can almost make it to the beacon from jumping from up there with the Griffin. Yeah, and there you go. Now you know. And anyway, so the rest of this was just an exploratory mission. Can you get up onto the top of this? And I was like, okay, you can. How far can you go? And I was just looking at the map and stuff. And yeah, I really like it. So don't take my comment about this totally being from Star Wars as a bad thing. I think this map is really cool. I like it a lot. That's totally an Assassin's Creed moment right there. Standing up at the top of this thing. Here we go. Pew pew. You like that? People have been asking for the pew pews, which I think is funny because I think I sound dumb when I do those, but anyway. And you can jump down from there without being scathed because these are super robots, obviously. So I really do enjoy the new map, though. I think it's a lot of fun. One thing I think should be changed, though, is that on this direction they should probably be symmetrical. So as you see to my right, the map has 3 beacons over there, and there's 1 beacon on the left, so it's not symmetrical that direction, and that's fine with me. What I do think is that on the other side of the map there should also be some high ground like this. Like over here there's this piece of this broken ship, but on the other side there is not. And so this offers a much higher vantage point than you get just from standing on the hill on the other side. So as far as, you know, what I think should change about the map itself, I think that should change, but I really do like the idea. I like the whole inside thing. I don't know that I would change anything there, except on this side of the map, there probably should be a couple more tunnels going in, like there is on the other side. Or maybe that's one of the ways that they compensate for the differences in sides. But personally, I think that one side shouldn't have this large of a long-range advantage over the other side. I think that's a bit of a mistake. So you guys will have to let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about the new map. I mean, I'm sure you've already watched it on other channels first. And that's why we're not going to talk about tons of the other stuff from the test servers, probably because you guys have already seen it, and I knew I wasn't going to be getting this video out to you guys until Monday. And I'm glad you guys liked the video with with Mrs. Stupendous narrating and stuff. I thought that was funny, and she was a really good sport to go and do that. I thought it was great. So anyway, so here's a round. This is going to be a full round right here on this map using the buffed Rhino and then several different bot loadouts with the flamethrower weapon. And so we'll talk about those. And I guess I'll start actually by talking about what you're not going to see. So I'm not going to be running the medium weapon prototypes. I really don't like that weapon, and I kind of hope that they discontinue working on it. I just don't like that it takes like no skill to use, like because you have the target lock and then you can't miss your target unless they're behind cover. And I also don't like that then you're able to also just hit, you know, whoever is proximal to that person And so I guess if they were going to continue development on something like that, I think they really need to decrease the range that it can arc from, the chain arc. But I wish they would just kind of get rid of that weapon, and maybe continue development on something that takes a little bit more skill to use. I think it would make the game a lot more interesting, having a little bit more variety in that way. So as far as the Rhino is concerned, I've been thinking about it. So last week we talked about the Rhino and the changes to it, and I mentioned that I thought it was a little bit too fast, and maybe it shouldn't be like that. And really, it's hard to say on the test servers with how gameplay is, and many of the people they definitely act like pretty new players. So it's really hard for me to gauge like what it will actually do to the game, just being in here on the test server, because it's such a different environment from the players that I'm used to playing with, and things like that. Now, with how it is right now, and I've been thinking about it, I'm like, okay, so what if it did stay like this? Would that be okay? I still stand by what I said last week and the changes that I proposed last week. I think that would be a really good way to balance it across every level of play. My worry about making it this fast is that early game is so slow, like every bot is so slow, that you can't really... I don't think you can feasibly add something that's this fast with this much firepower into someone who just got their level 20 account, or or fairly recently got it and saves up to get a Rhino. I think it'll be a little bit too game changing, especially down there. So I guess that's probably my biggest worry, and why I was saying that I think that they don't need to buff it this much. I never said that it doesn't need a buff. I mean, a lot of people were all offended, like, the Rhino needs a buff, don't say that, or tell Pixo this, or tell Pixo that. I never said it didn't need a buff. I did say that it needs a buff. I just don't know that it needs that big of a buff, and you do need to think about every level of play and what it will do. Yeah, you see all those things arcing around everywhere? I think that's just dumb. So yeah, I'm not gonna run those on the test server. I did run them, just for the sake of testing them and everything, but I didn't want to show them to you guys and running around and spamming those and stuff. But yeah, so the Rhino, it's tons of fun as it is right now. I never said that it wasn't. It is a lot of fun. But yeah, I still, I guess I still stand mostly by what I said last week about probably needing to buff the walking speed more than the rushing speed, but still buffing the rushing speed. And then, possibly changing the how quickly it turns and everything like that, possibly changing that. But it's really hard to say. And if they do start introducing fairly big changes to the Rhino like that, I hope that they introduce those changes slowly, like piece by piece. Like, even if they are going to buff it like this much eventually, I wish they would start by buffing it like halfway and just waiting to see its effect on the game in every level of play. They gather data on everything, so I just kind of wish that it would be a little bit more like that. And they have been getting better at buffing things incrementally anyway, after a couple instances of buffing and then nerfing. So anyway, so that's my thoughts on that. And yeah, again, thoughts on the new map. I like it. I like the dynamic that it has. I wonder if they need to move one of those 3 beacons that are off to, I guess, right ahead of where I'm at right now. I wonder if they need to move one of those beacons inside here and maybe elongate this inner sanctum, or put 2 beacons on either side. I don't know. I was thinking about it, and I played probably like 10 rounds on the map, and I was trying to think of what would be best. And honestly, I'm not sure. Maybe that's needed. Maybe it's not. I think what definitely would be needed if they do leave all 3 beacons on that side is more cover to run into and behind. The saving grace of having them over here is that you can get to those beacons, especially the center beacon on the left side right now, fairly quickly from inside of here. You can move over to this beacon over here, and it's not too far off the beaten path, but you still are out in the open for quite a while. And there are sight lines that lead into here for anyone who is running long-range weapons. There are several sight lines that lead into the center area. You just need to set up shop in the right spot. So anyways, that's my review of the test server for this weekend. Again, there's plenty of other things that were tested, but those are the things that we're going to talk about because you probably already heard the rest. So anyways, thanks for coming and checking out the video, guys. Drop a comment, let me know what you think, and I hope you have an amazing day.